their steps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but.
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
Yeah,
you want one quick question?
we can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.
Go get Jess.
Yeah, thanks for about this.
Question, yeah.
Probably lifting weights. Yeah.
Becky, similar questions, actually, just out of what I was talking to Asia about.
Remind me right after the game to take this shit
Yeah.
out. Yeah. Usually just stop leaving. Normally I'm throwing at someone, so.
Yeah, that's usually it's right in front of me.
Becky, similar questions to what I was asking Asia about, just, both the amount of looks and the ways you were getting looks from beyond the arc for Jackie, and then just, Jules' first shot attempt comes second quarter. I'm sure that's not where you want it to be ultimately. Just kind of take me through what you're seeing out of both of their roles in your offense.
I mean, they're gonna take a lot of shots, both of them, by design. I thought the third quarter when we weren't getting stops, that's when our offense gets super stagnant. We don't get to run with any kind of freedom or any kind of flow, because we're taking the ball out of the net the whole time. I thought we got good looks. In the first half, we just missed them. Jewel had some wide open ones, just missed one of those nights. We know those are eventually, we'll live with that. Those are going to go down most nights. They didn't tonight. But the problem, the shooting was the shooting. I was more upset with the defense. The points in the paint with Cloud just turning the corner on a Stewie slip into the rim. Those are layups, and you can't give up layups in this league. Conversely, I thought we missed a few layups.
Try ask Becky or Jackie? Does it
Go with Jackie.
Jackie, yeah.
okay? Jackie, for you, three pointers to open the third quarter. What was like the adjustment that allowed for that to happen?
I think getting stops on the defensive end, and then just being aggressive, getting out, and running in transition.
I have a question for Becky. Asia said, she jokingly or probably seriously said that you cursed them out at halftime, but
Do we have any more for Jackie before she goes to lunch?
okay.
One more?
Yeah.
Did you have something for Jackie? Sorry. Sorry.
She's gotta go shower and lift and stuff.
Yeah, we asked Asia about this as well, but like, what did you see from Jewel today? Obviously, probably not the debut that she wanted, but what can you take away from that? And what did it just feel like to have her on the court in a regular season game like this one?
Yeah, we know Jules a great player. We're excited to have her, on our team. She's gonna hit shots. I think her presence on the floor just speaks for itself, and we just have to get her the ball. But we know, anytime she has the ball, we have confidence in her.
And Jackie, just to jump off of what Callie was saying, again, having 12 three-point attempts this year, today, second most you've had in any single game in your career here. How much did you feel like you were able to find those in the flow? And are you going to look for those more often this year as you guys are kind of building this system with this group of players?
Yeah, I think that's what she wants. But no, I just have to.
That one more.
Yeah, I just need to.
She can get up. We want.
Yeah, just focus on the shot a little bit more. I think I have a little bit more time than I thought I did. So just, just taking my time and making sure I'm getting my legs into it. But I think I have a little bit more time than what I was feeling out there.
Jackie, I'm sorry, I did have a quick question for Jackie. From your vantage point, what do you think accounted for some of the struggles to score at the rim tonight?
Whenever the ball isn't popping, we're just kind of stagnant, so we just have to get the ball popping so that we're able to, penetrate those gaps a little bit. But also, it's hard whenever we're just taking the ball off the net the whole night. So if we get stops on the defensive end, we're able to get going in transition, able to play at the pace that we want to play at.
Thank you.
One more for Jackie? Respond. Let me wait for the mic, please.
How did you respond to the halftime message? You came back, narrowed the gap to like 55-50. What inspired you at halftime?
Yeah, ultimately we want to win the game, so we just have to go out there and do whatever we can. And we knew that we had to come out and get some stops. We were able to do that. We cut the lead, but we just weren't able to pull it off. I think just, just trying to not dig ourselves in a hole to start the game or the second quarter. So just getting off to a better start, and then just making sure we're getting stops on defense. I think that's the biggest thing. We know we're going to be able to score the ball. We didn't shoot it well tonight, but we have faith that it'll work out for us. It's a game of numbers, and so we just have to trust the process.
Thanks, Sharon.
Yeah.
Okay. For Becky, obviously not the outcome you wanted, but you did say that this was going to be the ultimate test for your team. What did you learn, just overall big picture about this team tonight?
We just have a lot of work to do. I mean, plain and simple, the defense was disappointing, really disappointing. We didn't execute schemes. I thought we were soft. I thought we followed people around, which is why you get hammered in the paint. So, I mean, it's like I said, we have a lot of people that are learning the system, learning what we want to do defensively. It's not second nature yet. There's still a lot of thinking. And when you're thinking, you're slow. So once we can build these habits, and it becomes second nature to do our system, I think it'll run a lot smoother. But, the tale of the 2 quarters of the second and the third is what happens when we play defense and we're locked in, and the difference of when we just follow people around. When we just follow people around and we're taking the ball out of the net the whole time. I mean, it's a struggle because they get to set up their defense every time, and it slows us up. So the more efficient we can be defensively, the more efficient we'll be offensively. Now, we missed a lot of shots today. We missed layups. We did not shoot the ball well. But this is our first really, I would say, it's the first game of the season. I didn't expect us to come out and just, shoot lights out. And we didn't. So, but we got to help ourselves where we can.
Also heard that you called Natasha Cloud a hurricane before this game, and then she
I think I said a tornado.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know.
Tornado. Some type of weather system before the game, and then she came out and lived up to that. Why was she so effective against your team tonight?
I just think she's relentless. She's relentless. She plays ridiculously hard the entire time. She's in really great shape. She knows exactly who she is, and she kind of never gets outside of that. But she's just disruptive. But, offensively, she just turned the corner on our defense. I mean, our schemes, it was like, I don't know, the Spanish Olé guy, like the bowl, they just run right through, right down the pipe to the rim. So I thought her and Stewie did the damage on the inside. JJ somewhat, but JJ, you expect to score a little bit down there. Cloud, you have to try to keep her in front as best you can, and we just didn't.
Becky, maybe you're speaking to this in what you were answering, but down the stretch, you guys go 4 guards along with Asia. They were obviously big with Leo and their usual twin towers. Was that a choice based on foul trouble? Was that a choice based on like what you were just saying, that you're just trying to keep people in front of you at that point? Just kind of take me through your thinking about that.
I mean, we knew we were going to be small. We have no Crystal Bradford. Meg's out. I mean, our 4s are kind of, we didn't really have a 4. Asia was our only 4. I had 2 5s and a 4. So honestly, the rebounding, we did a great job on the boards. That's where you think you'd get pounded, and yeah, a little bit in the paint, but I thought it was more one-on-one defense of just keeping the ball in front of us. It was Stewie slipping to the rim, layup. And those are the ones that are like backbreakers, right? And you want, you want somebody else to beat you, not people shooting layups. And it was like a layup drill today. So I'm super pissed about that. They're going to hear, we're all going to hear about that.
Just a couple of quick ones for me. On the defense front, you've mentioned the slips from Brianna Stewart in particular. On those switches, was there anything technique-wise you want to see better on that front?
Yeah, stay underneath her. There should be no slip if you do it properly. You stay underneath, and if anything, she has to go out the other direction. When there's gaps, that's when she slides through. You're supposed, I mean, a good switch, you got to come together. They got to be physical. You got to stay underneath, and you can't get stood up. Your job isn't done, and then the cut just beats you. I mean, we just got beat. Just got beat. No, there's no two. The technique was poor though. And the other thing is, you get paranoid about Saab coming off. You have some paranoia in there, which makes you make mistakes too, So we just got to calm, trust the system, trust our work, and do it correctly. I didn't think we did it correctly. I thought, it takes a lot of communication, it takes a lot of discipline, and it takes a lot of effort to ask them to do what we're doing. So we just got to clean those things up. I thought New York played well. They were the better team tonight. They outplayed us in basically every area.
And then quickly with the transition defense, it felt like, at least from my view, the effort wasn't poor. Just trying to get matched up and figure out who's picking up who was kind of an issue. What did you kind of see from your vantage point on that front?
Well, there was a lot of transition because we missed a lot. So that's tough right there. They're just off to the races because we're not shooting the ball efficiently. What would help us to shoot the ball efficiently is we had better ball movement. I thought that it was very stagnant. I thought we played a lot of one-on-one. I'll be curious to know what the pass ratio was, how many times they passed, to how many times we passed. And I'm not just talking about assists. I'm just talking about general ball movement. Like, just move the ball side to side. We just didn't do that. So if we want to win, those are the things we got to clean up.
Becky, you mentioned the third quarter. It sounded like you liked what you saw more in that quarter, maybe. Are there any positives that you can take from the game at all?
Yeah, I think the third quarter was very positive. That's what it's got to look like and feel like. You go in at halftime and you've given up 50 points. Well, they're on pace for 100 points. That's a lot of offense to make up for, especially on a night that you're not shooting it well. So we got to learn what is going to enable us to be successful, and that's playing the defensive end of the ball. Now, that's one of the best offensive teams out there. You could throw that group in top 5 ever for offensive efficiency. I mean, they're that good. So not surprising that they poke some holes in our defense. However, we'll get them a couple more times and hopefully we can clean it up. But I think they run splits and screening actions beautifully. They're great readers. You do this, they do that. And that's just a really high-level IQ team that's been together a while and know how to play with each other. We're still figuring those spots out, I think.
The defensive issues with getting scared and getting beat, and then offensively with the ball getting bogged down. Specifically, what are the ways that you think about working on that? Is that just more reps, or are there like specific areas to work for that?
I mean, some of it is spacing, but you have to cut. We call it a sacrificial cut, because if one of the reasons the ball doesn't move, it's not because they're trying to be selfish or whatever. There's nobody to pass it to. So you have to have body movement in order to get ball movement. If there's no bodies moving, the ball ain't moving. So we have to be more willing to cut just to relieve pressure and understand that it might come back to us on the backside. But just that mindset to just get the ball side to side. I mean, I could probably count on one hand how many times the ball went from left to right to left. It just didn't happen very much. And give them credit too on their length and size. They're long and they're very good defenders, and they switch a lot. So you have to be very intentional. You have to be very purposeful, and you have to be committed to the pass to beat them. And it has to happen like that, because if it's 1 or 2 seconds of holding the ball, they've all recovered, and now there's no more mismatches.
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Seeing Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
We can't ask Rashad a question.
Hey, Rashad.